It is such a deep and amazing joy to be back inside our temple. While the insurance company estimated 6 months to a year, here we are, a little over 3 months later. And we're not done yet, as close as it looks. And more about that this afternoon, and more about the grace-filled happenings that brought us here, and about the vision that carries us forward. But here we are together in the temple once again, surely a cause for celebration, and for those of you zooming in, feel that you are right here with us. I'm completely floored, filled with gratitude for all the support we have received, and all the support that's still being offered in so many ways, and for the divine grace that has sustained us and sustains us and nurtures us and lights our way forward even when we can't see it. Gratitude for that divine grace is really my inspiration for this series and for this day's message that begins with topic number 1, which is how to find resilience in changing and challenging times. So let's start with resilience. To be resilient is to be able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Is how we bounce back or regain our strength. We all need resilience today in these times, like we need air. The horrific war that has broken out in the Middle East breaks our hearts and lays bare how small and how fragile we are, and how small and fragile our earth is. So where do we find shelter? Where do we find peace? Where do we get the strength that we need to heal and to be able to respond with compassion? For this community, recovering from the fire in our temple has shown us a lot. It has shown us how spiritual practice and engaging as a community, in community, supports our resilience. And it has shown us how divine grace can inspire us to come together, and in the process, deepen our faith and find the strength that we need to do what seems beyond us to do, but must be done. And that's really that's where we are today, in our personal lives and in our world. And there's no question that we need spiritual resources in order to be resilient. Definition of resilience that I particularly like is from Dr. Simranjeet Singh, who wrote, "Resilience is about our ability to find hope and agency amid difficulty." Resilience is about our ability to find hope and agency amid difficulty. Seen through the light of Kriya Yoga teachings, I would define resilience as our ability to be anchored in the awareness of our spiritual nature as we act skillfully amid change and challenge. The ability to be anchored in awareness of our essence of being as we act skillfully in the midst of change and challenge. Life expresses as constant motion. You may have noticed that. It's always changing. Light, shadow, pleasure, pain, joy, sorrow. But within that motion, within all of that activity, is a still point of perfect, unchangeable, unconditional peace, which is the experience of the changeless, eternal, divine self. The light of supreme consciousness, the inner light that is our soul nature, our essence of being. Accessing that stillness is our greatest resource for resilience. Well, and we know here, because we're a meditation center, that meditation practice shows us how to find and how to know that still point. How to find, how to discover equilibrium, harmony, and inner peace that opens up our vision of possibilities, even in times where we don't know what to do. Opens up our higher wisdom, our ability to be compassionate when we feel our tank is on empty. No matter what the situation, the solution, according to the spiritual teachings, is always go straight to the goal. That's the definition of sadhana. Go straight to the goal, reconnect with your divine self, and live from the soul level of your being, not from your emotions or not from the reactive nature of the mind. No matter what the problem was, there's a teaching in our tradition that no matter what problem disciples brought to Lahiri Mahashaya, he would say, meditate more. But meditation in and of itself is not it. It's not a panacea. It won't cure or fix everything. But what it does provide for us is access to the soul level of our being, the divine reality. And that, touching that, is the source of resilience and healing and inspiration for us. So think of it this way. Meditation is only the training wheels on the bicycle that we ride through the experiences of life. With meditation, we're just learning how to keep our balance while we're in motion. And once we know how to find that still point and recognize it, then we can return to it again and again amidst the great whirling that is this turning earth that we live on and in. We need to learn how to live from that stillness. That's how we become resilient. A short while after the fire in the temple, I was just contemplating, and I wrote this. I am contemplating the message of the temple fire and what it might reveal to us. I do not have an insight. Only that in the aftermath of the fire, there is the experience of not as before. Only that in the experience of the aftermath of the fire, what I knew was not as before. As in the wake of COVID, we're recognizing that the river of life does not flow backwards. And there is no restoring to a former state. Only evolving to what is next. What remains the same? The truth. And our commitment to that. The vision that underlies the ever-changing form and circumstances of our life. Then, from that, I don't know, a poem, this poem emerged. When someone sets your temple on fire, that's the first line. And I want to say that the temple in this poem can be this temple, because it is and it was. It can be our temple, but it also refers to whatever we hold sacred. Collectively, our earth temple that has been set on fire. Individually, the temple can be our body. Sometimes there are shocks to the body. Could be our work. Could be our marriage. It could be friendship. When there's a fire of betrayal or loss. Could be something. Could be someone we care deeply about. So, temple. When someone sets your temple on fire, you must let what is burned speak to you. Stand in what was lost, what remains, and what is now open to moonlight. Don't move. Don't rush to rebuild. Open the eye of your soul and the ear of your heart. Listen. A holy place always has something to say to you. In the charred hush, you will learn how to mend your life. Others will want you to do something. Begin again, go back, start over, rebuild. There will be a time for that, but it is not now. So, pause for a commentary. The others may literally be other people, but often the others are those inner voices that judge and assess and push and press and shout, do something. When someone sets your temple on fire, you must let what is burned speak to you. Stand in what was lost, in what remains, and what is now open to moonlight. Don't move. Don't rush to rebuild. Open the eye of your soul and the ear of your heart. Listen. Listen. A holy place always has something to say to you. In the charred hush, you will learn how to mend your life. Others will want you to do something. Begin again, go back, start over, rebuild. There will be a time for that, but it is not now. Wait for just this. In the deep silence of the soul's fire, in the heat of not knowing, there is a still point. In the deep silence of the soul's fire, in the heat of not knowing, there is a still point. Through it, you will see a vista of the land opening for the purple wild hollyhock, the rare flower that only blooms after of fire. This morning, Venus has wings. Swans fly over the rooftops. Their call beckons you to water. Go with them. Go with them now. The mythological swan, Sanskrit word Paramahansa, is said to be able to drink from milk and to extract the cream, leaving the dross behind. And this metaphor points to our capacity to raise our consciousness beyond seeing only conditions, to perceive the unchanging reality of divine presence that permeates our life. Our ability to act skillfully is based on that Paramahamsa Principle. To raise our consciousness, to see beyond conditions, remain anchored in the awareness of reality, capital R, and act from the soul's guidance, clearly, intentionally, wisely, compassionately, and not tossed about by any reaction, fear, anger, insecurity, confusion. When the temple was burned, there were many actions that were required immediately. But we knew, and we reminded one another, because we are a spiritual community, we knew and we reminded one another that the most important requirement is always remembrance of God. Remembrance of God brings resilience. There you have it. I probably could have just said that. I want to close with some words from Paramahansa Yogananda. Yogananda wrote, "Although I am planning and doing things in the world, it is only to please the Lord. I test myself. Even when I am working, I whisper within, 'Where are you, Lord?' And the whole world changes. And there is nothing but a great light. And I am a little bubble in that ocean of light. Such is the joy of existence in God. Such is the joy of existence in God. It is that joy that is rebuilding this temple and will rebuild the temple that is our world. That inner joy of remembering God's presence is what we need to heal our hearts. It brings us together to manifest the soul's dream of peace, a great light of love that can shine into our lives and into the world. I am so glad, grateful that you are here with me and that we are here together, near and far, in the temple of the eternal way, in the temple of the One. Om.